Hello? Can you hear me? I am searching, whether it's the cities, the quiet suburbs, or in the beauty of nature. I will find it. In the crevices. In the darkness. Welcome to Lost or Found.
I rented an RV. I want to find the most extreme haunted house in the world.
What's that? Shh. Somebody's on the roof.
Yes, October has finally arrived. As you can tell by the pumpkin, yes, it is the season of Halloween, the best time of year for us horror fans. Yes, we get the candies. Yes, we get the decorations, but also, yes, we enjoy this time the most, not only for the costumes, but because we get to watch our favorite horror movies at this time of year. And we will kick off this episode of Lost or Found with one of the horror movies that you should definitely watch, The Houses October Built, 2014, directed by Bobby Zoe, who stars in the film as well as himself. So, what is the synopsis of this film? Well, a group of friends get together and they decide to go on a road trip to search for the scariest extreme haunt. But after their trip takes a little bit of a roadblock, they soon find out that what they are searching for is actually searching for them. So, before we dive into the film, what exactly is a haunt? Well, a haunt is a location. It can be indoors or it could be outdoors, where fans like to go and see how much they could get scared. Now, some of these haunts, yes, are extreme, where you actually have to sign a waiver to allow the actors and performers to actually be able to touch you and scare you from a very close proximity. Now, some of these haunts have different things where they actually test your claustrophobia or your fear of heights, but the whole point of it is the fun of getting scared shitless. So now that you know what a haunt is, let's dive into this film and see if this succeeds in not only introducing haunts, but introducing how much they're capable of scaring you. Now, this movie begins with a variety of interviews as well as news reports about these haunts. We get some information about how this time of year 2,500 haunts open up to the public, and a lot of people, I think it was in the film stated 31 million, tend to venture into these haunts. Now, what I like about the beginning sequence of this film is not only do we get interviews with the performers, but we also get backgrounds into, like, for example, some of the performers who are actually dangerous in real life, some of the things that happens behind the scenes, and some of the dangers that actually are involved in some of these haunts. But what this does, it adds a beautiful twist to the film as we kind of get a precursor or a foreshadowing of what is yet to come. Now, the film also kicks off in the beginning, telling us about the 5 friends who recorded this adventure and how towards the end of the recording, a group called the Blue Skeletons, which owned a extreme haunt without any fixed locations, tended to record the rest of the film.
Wait up!
As the crew begins their search for the extreme haunts, we get clips of newsreels and interviews with some of the performers and owners of these haunts. Now, we also get a glimpse of some of the weird characters and how extreme they portray the characters in these haunts. Now, there's also a scene where the crew decides, hey, we're going to sit by a fire and just drink beers and relax. And all of a sudden, a guy appears in full makeup and tells them, hey, what are you enjoying my fire? Cool thing about it is that we saw a guy who basically was already in character before he even headed to work at the haunt, which shows you how extreme these people who perform in these haunts take their craft to a certain level. Now, for all the characters they show in this film, as far as those who work in the haunt, there was one in particular that really, really was disturbing: the porcelain doll. She had very interesting scenes in this film, and one in particular scene where, let's just say, she lets out this noise that you're like,
No, for real, is there anywhere we can take you?
see what I mean? But her character I liked a lot, and I'll tell you a little bit at the end of this episode what I thought the film kind of dropped the ball on. Now, after that scene, things tend to get a little more scarier and unpredictable in the rest of this film. Eventually, they do find what they're looking for, but it's not exactly what they were looking for, as everything catches up to them. Now, I will not get more in depth as far as what happens to them and the rest of this film, but I do believe this film did a good job in exploiting the haunts, but at the same time, it kind of dropped the ball as far as what was it really trying to accomplish as far as a cliffhanger or ending in this film. Now, before I wrap this up, let me ask 3 questions for you. 1, did you think the porcelain doll was wasted in this film? 2, did the ending truly satisfy? And 3, did you watch the sequel to this film? Now, comment below with the answer to any one of these questions. I'm curious to read what you had to answer as far as those 3 questions in this film. So what is my conclusion for The Houses October Built? Well, I do feel like this film had a lot of potential. There were a lot of characters that creep you out in these haunts, and I feel like we wanted more from them. Now, the extreme haunts were fun to watch, but once again, you kind of wanted a little bit more. I felt a little shortchanged towards the end as far as the ending of this film, but this film is a fun watch with a mixture of their journey to look for the extreme haunt and the documentary style, basically with the newscasting, the reporting, and the interviews kind of went hand in hand pretty well. Now, this film is definitely a found by a narrow thin margin, and you should watch it. Now, I will tell you this, when you watch the sequel to it, you'll be kind of disappointed in the way this film ended. Now, you can watch The Houses October Built, currently streaming on Tubi. Yes, there are ads on Tubi, but if you like found footage horror, Tubi is the place to go. Watch the film, leave a comment below, let me know what you think of this film and whether it deserves to be mentioned as one of the horror films specifically for the Halloween season in October. So this is JR. Papo is not with us this week. He is getting us prepped up for Abaddon, which is Hell House LLC 2, which we will be reviewing next week. So let me know what you think of this film. You guys have a great weekend. Enjoy this month. Watch horror. And if there's a found footage film that you want me to review, spoiler free, let me know right below and I will do it, because I love found footage horror and I would love to see what you guys want me to watch. But this is JR, Lost or Found, Horror Fiend TV. Peace.